Hey, we are back at Max Motive located in Cheswick, Pennsylvania to take a look at this 1950 Dodge Wayfarer. But before getting into all of it, I am Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. This channel, we feature the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that are off the beaten path. If that sounds of interest to you, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. 1950 Dodge lineup was broken down into three different lines. The Wayfarer was their entry-level offering, followed by Meadowbrook, which was solely a four-door. Cornet was at the top. The Dodge Wayfarer was introduced in 1949 along with Meadowbrook and Cornet series. It's important to note that this is Dodge's first post-war design. Dodge, after the war, essentially blew off the dust off the dies and used the same designs that they used before the war. And you can't really blame them because there wasn't any time for tooling for new cars while there was a war going on. Anyway, the Wayfarer could be had in three body styles: two-door sedan, two-door business coupe, and a roadster that was often referred to as the Sportabout. The Wayfarer was marketed against the 1950 Ford, which was also known as the Shoebox Ford, Chevy's Styleline Special, and Nash's Rambler. 1950 Dodge lineup received a facelift across the board. Just a real quick look at the 49 Wayfarer, also known as the D29 series. This is what the 1950 Wayfarer looks like, and it's known as the D33 series. The facelift gave the car sleeker lines, new bumpers, and new rear fenders. Dodge offered the Wayfarer from 1949 to 1952. It was discontinued without a direct replacement. Moving on to specs: 195 inches long, 63.5 inches tall, 73 inches wide, 115-inch wheelbase. The curb weight was 3,200 pounds. Price was $1,756, which is equivalent to you spending $21,626.34 in the year 2022. Total 1950 Dodge production was 350,000 units, of which total Wayfarer two-door sedan production was 65,000 units. Moving on to engines, only one engine on offer, 230 cubic inch displacement flathead 6, 3.8 liters. A bit of background information on this engine. It was introduced in 1941 and it was a continuation of Chrysler's flathead 6 engine. Chrysler joined the war effort. If for those that don't know, World War II was going on during this time period when this engine came out. And Chrysler actually had to give up automotive production across all of its manufacturing plants to help out with the war effort. So they built tanks, they built trucks, they built Jeeps. It was all hands on deck between the years of 1943 and 1945. Anyway, this was Dodge's only engine on offer until 1953 when the 241 came along. 230 was used in Dodge motor lineup until the end of 1959, and it was replaced with the 225 Slant 6. This engine was rated at 103 horsepower at 3,600 RPM, 190 foot-pounds of torque at 1,200 RPM, with a bore of 3.25 inches and a stroke of 4.625 inches. Compression is 7-to-1. Made of cast iron, fed with a single barrel carburetor, and features 4 main bearings. 0 to 60 was 22.1 seconds, a theoretical top speed of 80 miles per hour. With an average fuel economy rating of 15.9 miles to the gallon. Only one transmission on offer, and that was the 3-speed automatic fluid drive. Let's talk about this styling. There's lots of stuff going on. Check out the hood ornament. Looks very interesting. It almost looks like ram horns. It's very interesting. Just check out this chrome piece, how it comes down here and then it stops when it gets to the door. Got this nice piece of chrome at the bottom here. I love this style. In the 50s, all the automakers put this big chrome piece here to deflect from, I'm assuming to deflect from rocks hitting it, but I'm not sure. In the comment section below, put what this piece here is for. And then it has this nice chrome piece that picks up here. Just slight bulge back here, not overly done. They all did it different. Just check out this drip rail here. The theory was if it rains, the water would collect in here much like a gutter. And notice it's here too. So if you have the windows open, the thought process was that the rain would get caught here in the strip rail and won't go into the window as much. As much as the key word. Continues the whole way down. I see a lot of different design aspects from this car. Now it doesn't look identical, but Hudson Hornet, definitely see that in here. Maybe it's just the roof design and how it comes back down here. While we're back here, just open up the trunk. Just look at that massive trunk. It's so big, that's a full-size spare with the bumper jack on the side. Goes way back up underneath there. And the load floor is really low. Like, here's my knee for reference. It's shorter than my knee. License plate light. But if you had your lights on and you needed to see back here, you could probably just turn the lights on and this would shine in here so you could see. That's brilliant where they put that. Just take a look at this door handle and all of the designs. It operates like this. So just check out this door. It's all trimmed out. Here's my finger for reference of how deep this door is. Goes the whole way around. Vent window. Push this little knob in and flip it up like that, and then just push it open. But that's how it would operate. This feels like plastic. Maybe it's a Bakelite material of some sorts. This feels like the same cloth material that they use for the seats. Armrest. This is the door handle to pull the door shut. Door handle to get out. Window crank for the big window. And it works like that. That window crank kind of reminds me of like a Rambler because it's only one or two cranks to get it all the way down. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, clutch, brake, gas pedal, emergency brake, high beam switch. Just take a look at this interior. That has a nice quality shut to it. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like if you were going to drive this car. Lots of room underneath the steering wheel, and this steering wheel is absolutely massive. It's probably 18-inch steering wheel, no less than 18 inches. Absolutely massive, but lots of room. It's not in your crotch. On to the button switches and knobs. Starting with the starter, it's all the way to the left. Headlights, panel lights, wipers, 3 pods sit in front of the driver. The one all the way to the left has 2 gauges inside of it. Water temperature at the top, amp gauge at the bottom. The center gauge has a speedometer in it with the odometer at the top center. Oil pressure and fuel is in the gauge off to the right. Just below the fuel gauge is where the lighter is. In the center is a beautiful tube radio. Just below that are the climate control settings. And when I say climate control, it's mostly for heat and ventilation. The controls read air, fan on the left, and defrost on the right. The ashtray is just below the Wayfarer plaque. Up here, sun visors, no courtesy mirrors, nice rear view mirror. Another sun visor, no courtesy mirrors. There is a ton of headspace in this car. I have about a foot, maybe a foot and a half of headspace. It's insane. I don't feel claustrophobic in this car. It actually feels huge. On to the glove box test. This is our cinematic camera that we use for all of the cinematic shots, like the shots of getting inside and the gauge cluster tour. Here's my hand for reference. It's a really big camera. Here's our glove box. And notice how you open this glove box. The button is inside the knob. And you push it and it opens to reveal an absolutely huge area of storage space. camera fits in there, no problem at all. And honestly, the iPad could probably fit in there too. Probably fit 2 or 3 more cameras in there. And this lever down here is for the cow air conditioning. That's what I call it. It's the cow vent. So you pull it up and that goes down. See it go down? Move it back up like that. It's got a couple different settings. This is low, medium, and that's all the way opened. Getting into the rear, just fold the seat forward like this. And that is how much space you have to get back there. There is lots of space back here. There's not as much space as there is in the front, but for your head, but this car is on the smaller side and you still have lots of knee room. The seat is very upright after sitting back here for more than 2 seconds. As you can see about the seat profile over here against something that's solid. The rear of the seat kind of folds down inside here, but it levels out. And the back is very upright. Nice armrest back here. Window crank to put down the rear window. And this is how it operates. So just check this out. From here to here and up, this back window fixed, it doesn't go down. Here's what outside the rear window would look like. Massive shelf back there. Here's my hand for reference. I can reach the back, but barely. Nice light up here in the center. There is no coat hooks on that side, nor on this side. This is a light switch for the dome light, which is back here. There is no dome light in the center of the roof. This is what the front looks like from the rear. All right, getting underneath the hood. Before we get underneath the hood, check out this crest. That's pretty cool. So getting underneath the hood, there is a lever here and you push it back, it goes all the way back, and then there's a secondary catch up in here. It's right underneath the Dodge, and inside here, see it move? It's in the center. This hood's extremely heavy. So just check that out. It's a flathead 6. The car's still a 6-volt car, but it's got a disconnect on it. Overflow tube. On to the pros and cons. I'm getting all of these pros and cons from the complete book of collectible cars, blue chip auto investments, 70 years, 1930 to 2000 by Richard M. Langworth and the auto editors of Consumer Guide. On the positive side, super sturdy, reliable engine, good construction quality. Against it, ho-hum styling, minimal performance. All right, now it's time for Name That Tune. I'm looking for the correct name of the band as well as song title. First person to do both correctly will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. That one's a little easier. We'll see if anybody gets it. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. I appreciate all of the support. And please, if you like this episode, hit that like button so more people can see this episode in the future. And until next time, toodaloo!